Here we go.
Sashi.
Wait.
Oh.
Here we go. Okay, go.
Sashi.
Uki jokshik mektok tram. Rira blingshir nende gempadi. Sangye shingdu mikte owargi. Joku namdak shingla chuparsho. Hiram guru rana mandalakam niryatayami. Say Sangye really loud.
Sangye.
Chudang soki chok nam la. Changchu bardu dakni kapsuchi. Daki jinso ki pe tsunam ki. Jolar penshir sangye jupar shok.
Sangye.
Chudang soki chok nam la. Changchu bardu dakni kapsuchi. Daki jinso ki pe tsunam ki. Jolar penshir sangye jupar sho.
Sangye.
Chodang soki chok nam la. Jangchu bardu dakni kapsu chi. Daki jinso ki pe tsunam ki. Jolar penshir sangye jupar sho. Oh. Wow, perfect job, Monica. Okay, so now we're going to do the quiz. If you have not studied for the quiz and do not plan to take the quiz, please avert thy gaze. All right, about to hit the button. It's your last chance. If you look at it, you have to take it. Here we go. There's 4 questions. I'll make it. Maybe if I do this. Yeah. Okay. Good luck. Okay. Everyone finished? Take that as a yes. All right. Okay. So for people who were here last class, I mentioned that I wasn't sure if the 18 pledges had been, Geshe-la had taught it in the beginning of this class or not. They're part of Lojong Dunduma. What does that mean? What does Lojong Dunduma mean? Just say it. Unmute your mic.
Desarrollar el buen corazón.
Yeah. Repite, por favor.
Desarrollando el buen corazón.
She said, develop a good heart.
Okay. Yeah. Just I couldn't hear. No. Lojong Dunduma. Lojong means that. Lojong Dunduma is the name of the book we were just studying. What does Dundunma mean?
7 points.
Yes, it does. So 0.6 of those were 18 pledges. And here they are. So I'm going to teach you the 18 pledges. They're not on the homework, but maybe they're the most important part of the Lojong Dunduma. So I don't know. For some reason, I have some affinity for this Lojong. I think of these pledges fairly often. Mute your microphone. Some of these pledges they're not taught anywhere else. And some of them are quite beautiful. So I'm gonna go over them, and then you're gonna get the transmission, and then it'll be your job to practice them. Okay. So there's 7 parts to the Lojong Dundunma. That's why it's called Dunma. And the 6th of those 7th are 18 pledges. There's actually 16 pledges. The first one has 3 parts. Okay. So 2 plus 16 is 18. All right. Okay, so pledge number 1, keep the 3 laws. So in this case, laws, it just means like rules. Those rules are the 3 sets of vows. Does anybody know what the 3 sets of vows are?
Refuge, Bodhisattva, and Tantric?
Basically, it's refuge is it's more like commitments, but it's pratimoksha or liberation vows, and then bodhisattva and tantra. Although refuge, you could say that too. It's pretty interchangeable. So yeah, so basically what this is saying is when you become a Lojong practitioner, which if you really become a Lojong practitioner, other people will think you're quite strange. I don't know if you really got the flavor. I'm feeling like I'm not transmitting the flavor that well, but it's as if somebody was going to, how do you say, enganarse, rip you off for, 100,000 pesos. And you're like, you know what? Keep it. It's yours. Okay? And that was all the money you had. And you're like, you know what? Perfect. Take the money. Right? What would Jesus do?
he would do just that.
No,
No?
he'd give him a tip.
Oh.
Jesus said, if a man should sue you in court for your house, give him your coat as well. ¿Entiendes? That's lojong. You're like, hey, while I'm burning bad karma, you know what? I got this nice car. You want that too? Because let's just end this all right now. But you have to understand the principles. And at the same time as you're becoming a crazy lojong practitioner, which just means you are practicing karma and emptiness and bodhicitta. That's all it means. But you're like really practicing. At the same time, you can't forget your vows, okay? Whatever they are, however many you have, or whatever commitments you have. Basically, if you're a Buddhist, you've at least committed to not punching people in the face, not stealing stuff from people, not making out with your friends, girlfriends, and so on. The 10 misdeeds, okay? At least that, if you don't have vows or anything like that, yeah. Okay. Okay, number 2, never endanger yourself. So don't put yourself in dangerous situations while helping others. And this is up for you to decide. I've been in situations that other people thought was dangerous, and I didn't. They left the situation. I stayed because I felt quite comfortable. So it's up to you. What is dangerous for you? Okay, but basically, you never want to put your body in harm's way. Because if you do, then you can't practice anything. At least not in this precious human body. Why is this human body so precious? I thought it was suffering.
I think I'm gonna give it a shot here. I think it's because being human is the only way that we can get enlightened.
Yeah, it's not the only one, but it's supposed to be the easiest one.
Oh.
Because humans have a perfect mix between good and bad. If you're a hell being, you're just suffering so horribly all the time. It's hard to even keep a straight thought. Okay, if you're an animal, you don't necessarily have even the intellect to, frame something like bodhicitta, and so forth. If you're a god, you're in too much pleasure, so you're like suffering. There's no suffering. I'm great, like that. So, yeah. So don't endanger your holy human body, which is only holy because you could become a Buddha. That's a whole thing. Okay. But human bodies are made of a lot of good karma too. So don't discriminate between people. This is a hard one for everyone, pretty much. One of my yoga teachers, Dharma Mitra, says, let your compassion go beyond your pets. Meaning people, they take care of their family and their wife and their best friend. But if they see someone on the street, literally people are on the street like dying, right? It's freezing cold out. People are outside dying and people just walk past them. Like not one person, not 10 people, to thousands of people if you're in New York or something, right? And not to say that these things are easy fixes, but at the same time, if we really cared, wouldn't we figure something out? We figure out stuff for ourselves that are harder than that all the time. So don't discriminate between people. Be kind to all people equally, which is basically impossible, okay? Unless you're like already a high-level bodhisattva or something, of course you're gonna be like, treat your girlfriend better. She'd probably get mad at you if you don't. So, just do your best and at least think of people equally in the sense that everybody wants the same things. If you can't actually treat them that way, because it's challenging, to say the least. Number 4, change your mind and stay the same. So this is from the outside. You want to look like regular, how do you say, fulanito, fulano, like a regular Joe Schmo, we say in English, okay? Or John Q. Public, like just regular person. I mean, as best you can. I mean, it's hard to look regular if you're really Bodhisattva, I think. Although I know some people who pull it off pretty good. I don't pull it off that good. People think I'm a weirdo wherever I am, so I don't know. They know I'm weird. They just look at me and they're like, "Who's that guy?" But the point here is, don't advertise the fact that I'm some crazy yogi. I did this thing. Somebody took all my money. I just gave them my shoes too. You know, not like that. Most of this work is on the inside. You know, all. So there's 5 paths in Buddhism, right? What word is synonymous with the word path in Buddhism? Any language.
You mean translated in any language?
What is synonymous with the word path in Buddhism?
Sendero.
What'd you say?
Sendero.
Sendero.
Sendero. What's that one? I don't know what that means. I was hoping for logro. Logro is like realization, right?
I think logro is more like achievement.
Oh, okay. Well, it's realization. When you, every path in Buddhism is basically defined by an internal shift, an extremely deep internal shift. But could you look like Brian Mendoza does right now translating and be an arhat? Or be an Arya? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. If you're not shaking your head, do you know what an Arya is?
Brian or me?
Brian knows. Brian knows all this stuff. Not you, everyone, the whole class. Okay, Arya is someone who's seen emptiness directly. You don't have to have any change of your face or anything. You're probably going to act a little different. You probably just start running around teaching, you know, thousands of classes to people all over the world and trying to save tens of thousands of books and train hundreds of translators and all that kind of thing, right? Sound familiar? Wink, wink, wink. So yes, no external change is necessary. That's the point of that one. Okay, number 5. Speak not of what was broken. This is super important. I'm just gonna keep talking about Jesus because I don't know, y'all's Mexican, okay? You're supposed to know a little bit about Jesus, okay? If I know more about Jesus than you, we gotta talk to your abuelos, okay? They're gonna be mad at you, okay? So what did Jesus say about seeing other people's problems? Ay, way. He said, it's easier to see the speck in your brother's eye than the log in your own. Okay, it's easier to see someone's little problem, okay, especially your girlfriend. Oh my God, I can't believe she does that. Why does she always do that? You know, while you're being a horrible person. I mean, first of all, by judging her, right? Or him or whatever, whoever you're with. But second of all, you have a million problems. If you're human, you have at least 84,000 problems, according to Buddhism. Okay? So, and anyway, why are you seeing all these problems with other people in the first place?
because of past.
Oh, Alejandra's doing it perfect. Look at Alejandra's answer. It's coming from. She's starting to raise the roof. Okay, yeah, it's coming from you, right? Period. Okay, if you really want to be good at, Buddhist practice, just think that all day. I mean, if you find yourself getting upset at all, you lost your practice. Okay, you think the next Lojong is no joke. It's just like, okay. So get ready. Just think, it's coming from me. Trump, oh, he's coming from me. War in Afghanistan, okay, that's my problem. I hurt people. Girlfriend broke up with me, okay, that's easy. You don't have to think that hard to figure that one out. And so forth, right? Worldwide pandemic, yeah, I hurt people. Done. Don't think anything else. Don't think, how you say, murciélagos in China, right? Or pangolins or any of that. Yeah. Are there bats in China with coronavirus in them? Yes or no? Monica?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course. Yes. Coronavirus is endemic to China. There's many coronaviruses and bats carry them. So let's focus. If you go to China right now and examine a bunch of bats, will you find different strains of coronavirus? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Is that where coronavirus comes from?
No.
No. And like, there's probably 20 billion different species of viruses around the world in different animals, right?
Yes.
So then why now? Why this one? Why us? Why do I see it? You understand? Okay, cool. Don't judge people. Never worry about what they're doing. Just don't even think about other people's practice, especially don't gossip, okay? If I talk about other people's practice, I do my best to frame it as, I'm seeing this. Why? Because I do that, okay? And just frame it like that. Of course, you're gonna have to vent sometimes. Of course, people are gonna annoy you, unless you're already in RHOT, which if you are, you don't need my class. You should do something more fun on Friday night, okay? The point is, don't get all caught up in other people's practice. You're wasting your life. You think life just goes on, it doesn't. You think you have infinite time or thoughts, you don't. The amount of thoughts that you can think in this life are finite, right? So think nice ones. Focus on yourself. Okay, rid yourself of the biggest affliction first. Okay, this is super famous. I talked about it a little bit last week, I think. Basically, or excuse me, Wednesday. Yeah, take out the big guy first. So for me, that's going to be, I don't know, irritation or something, or arrogance, pride, jealousy. I don't know. I have to figure out which mental affliction I'm best at. Probably arrogance. Okay, I don't hide it that well. You already know. So yeah, and take that one out. You know, at least really think about it, or just wait until your next girlfriend starts telling you about it. And then just shut up when she tells you and be like, okay, that's me. And then the rest will fall more easily. All right. Never hope for any reward. You'll get rewards if you, so yeah, period. Don't hope for a reward. Will you eventually get rewards if you practice Dharma well? Answer the questions.
Yes.
Not just Monica. What's wrong with other people? Just say sí.
Sí.
Ah, muy bien, Marta. Okay, yeah, this is Geshe Michael style class, okay? It was class participation. I know we're on Zoom, but whatever. Anyway, what was I rambling about? Oh yeah, of course you're gonna get a reward. Maybe not in the beginning, maybe not for the first like 10 years of practice, okay? People are just gonna make fun of you, give you problems. But you're gonna have problems the whole time. You think you can handle Geshe Michael problems? No. You don't even want to know. He doesn't even talk about it. But you hear things and you're like, whoa. Okay, try to run a, I don't know, $250 million diamond company, for instance. Or try to have Dharma students. Big problems. Lama, I was wondering what to do about my girlfriend. Karma and emptiness. Okay, the answer is always the same. Stop emailing me. Okay, stop eating poison food. When you finally do a good deed, don't poison it with attitudes of self-cherishing. Okay. To tell you the truth, there's only like about 3 or 4 teachings, and the whole ACI courses is about 4 teachings at most. Let me see, karma, emptiness, bodhicitta. How many is that? Oh, it's 3. Okay, that's it. I mean, you can throw renunciation in there, / refuge. But if you understand refuge really well, that's karma and emptiness. If you understand renunciation, if you understand karma, that's renunciation. Okay, so there's about 3. They're all the same. Stop eating poisoned food, right? Stop thinking yourself as self-existent such that you would do things to hurt people to get what you want, or do things to hurt people to keep what you don't want away from you. Okay? That is the first link in the wheel of life. Thinking that you exist in such a way that you don't. So you have a misunderstanding about reality. And that misunderstanding leads you to suffer. All right. Don't let the stream flow smooth. Don't be a pushover. Yeah, when it comes to your mental afflictions, I mean, everybody else you got to be just nice to and just loving. But when it comes to your mental afflictions, just be a complete beast. I mean, just be like, it's like war. Especially if you start meditating a lot. I mean, if you really meditate, insane things happen. You learn crazy things about yourself. And they're not all pretty. Some of them are quite horrible. So, you have to have some kind of, English we say gumption. Okay? Gall, a little bit of gall. Is that gall? Is that right? Yeah. Anyway, the point is, don't just let your mental afflictions flow. If you start getting angry, don't be like, okay, then he said this, and then he did that, and then I want to punch him in the face. Because once it starts flowing, it's harder. And then by that time, you already planted a bunch of bad seeds. Okay, forget repaying criticism. This is one of your bodhisattva vows, isn't it? How's that vow go? Bodhisattva vow holders. Uh-oh, am I gonna embarrass somebody? Who has bodhisattva vows?
They're one about like responding to anger with anger.
Ooh, yeah. What's that called?
And then it lists a few other scenarios too.
Yeah, don't respond with anger and anger. Don't respond criticism with criticism. Don't respond with striking with striking. And then don't respond to...
No responder a la crítica con crítica.
Yeah, exactly.
La crítica con crítica.
Exactamente. Perfecto. So those are called the 4 points of practice. Meaning, what did Jesus say? Mute your mic. What did Jesus say?
Brian is doing
Pon
something.
la otra mejilla. ¿No?
Yay! Mahia? Cool. Exactly. Turn the other cheek. But he says turn the other cheek and present it. He's like, you missed the spot. Get me here too, okay? It's bolder. It's not like, okay, don't hit me anymore. It's right here. All right, here, take my coat too. Punch me here too. Okay, that practice is not for, that practice is not for the,
Débiles.
what's that?
Débiles.
Débiles. Yeah. The weak. It's that's real lojong. That's the truth. What would happen to you if you kept doing that?
Perpetúas las causas.
Perpetual something?
You perpetuate the causes.
Yeah, if you kept doing, thank you, Martha. If you kept doing that, Buddha paradise. Okay? If you kept turning the other cheek and then people put you on a cross and stoned you or whatever, and you still said, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do, what would happen in 3 days?
Te dejan de pegar.
Cielo. Okay. Give up laying hands.
Visitarás.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the whole practice. That's Christianity. Give up laying ambushes. When someone hurts you, don't plan a trap to hurt them back, okay? So, yeah. Don't try to, if someone hurts you, don't try to get them back. Don't think, oh, I'll get them for that eventually. I do that one. Okay, I confess I do that one. Because I'm a conniving little blankety blank. So don't do that anymore, word. Okay. No going for the jugular. This is hard. This one, I was trained to do the opposite. I grew up in an area where we always make fun of each other. That's how we express our love. So we find the thing most wrong with somebody, and then we point it out in front of everybody in a funny way, and then we all laugh at them, okay? And then they do it to us later, and everyone just laughs, okay? I'm not saying this is a good tradition, but this is the facts. So don't do that, especially if you're really angry. I mean, it's one thing if you're joking around and if you're with your tapatio friends like Aldo, who doesn't care, so you just laugh, okay? But if you're with like sensitive people, like California people, okay, don't make fun of California people. They're not used to that. They're from New York or Boston or Philly, yeah, whatever. They don't care. So none of that. No going for the jugular. How do you say? Yugular? I don't know. This jugular's here. Brian's translating. He knows. Okay. Load your own truck. No passing the buck. Yeah, this one's hard sometimes. I guess it goes with my arrogance. Just admit when you're wrong. Actually, I've come more and more in the habit. I just say, I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just wrong. It's much easier, actually. Because if you pretend to be perfect, then people expect you to be perfect. And then when you aren't perfect, it's very stressful because you're not perfect. So just let it go. You're wrong sometimes. Just say, okay, I did it. My fault. And just move on. All right. And even if you didn't do it, if you're seeing in the world, you did it. Right? Who did coronavirus? Whose fault is coronavirus? Martha. Okay, one bodhisattva. Yeah, it's Martha. Not todos error. You. This is the whole thing. It's not todos. It's you. Because you don't know who the other people are. Right? They could all be tantric deities for 1,000,000 years. Right? Yeah, Error, that's better. Anyone who perceives it. Okay, I'll go for that. Okay. Don't get fixed on speed. Okay, Geshe makes a joke. Not the drug, okay? Not meth or something like that. This means, and I remember this one for some reason. I tend to remember this one. Sometimes I'm still not good at it though. Like if, yeah, okay, Thanksgiving's coming up in the United States. You know, I love cranberry sauce, among other things. So, you know, if there's just like a little bit of cranberry sauce, don't grab, you know, 5/8 of it before anyone else can get to it so you can stuff yourself, okay? So I don't know. I had a hard time with this one because at the same time, don't deprive yourself. If you're not to the level of Master Shantideva or something like that, and you still need to eat. So don't keep giving food away and don't eat and then be cranky. Okay? Be like annoyed. So just get a little cranberry sauce, let everybody else have theirs. When they start wrapping up the food for leftovers, you know, see if there's any more leftover and just grab it. Because nobody wants all those leftovers. Okay, don't feed the wrong face. Yeah, don't use Lojong as just another means of, yeah, having pride. I'm the most Lojongy of the Lojongers, okay? And just take care of people in general. It's annoying at first, especially if you're not used to it, but don't worry, it gets more fun. And don't just do I made a big mistake when I used to practice Lojong at first. I would just I try to do too much, and too much that wasn't fun. Okay, that there's part of your capacity is defined by what actually feels like attracts you and draws you in. So don't just try to do too much, you know, because there's a couple of you who are very sincere practitioners in a sense, right? I mean, all of you, but some of you are going to go nuts and be like, I'm going to do Lojong, yeah, you know. Those of you out there, I know there's a couple of you, don't go crazy doing things that aren't fun such that you burn out, okay? There is a thing called Dharma burnout. You keep practicing and practicing, and then one day you don't want to have anything to do with any Dharma. I've seen it, okay? Don't be like that. All right. Don't turn the angel to a devil. Lojong is the sweet angel taking care of others first. Don't do Lojong motivated by acting out jealousy or desire or anger or pride. Similar to the last one, it's a little bit different. Just watch your motivation. Your motivation, what is your motivation? What's the motivation of Lojong? In 2 lines. 2 short lines.
Achieve enlightenment for the sake of everyone.
Yes. It's not exactly the 2 lines, but you're right. It's achieve enlightenment such that so others can do, so you can teach others to do the same. You know what I'm saying? Like there could be parts of your practice where you can be on a path to enlightenment, like say 3-year retreat or something. Maybe you want to go on retreat. You know, that's not the same as like going to a homeless shelter. So you have to understand that the reason you go on retreat is to get enlightened. So therefore you could help others do the same, right? Not that you have to stay there with others and like help them in a way that actually restricts your ability to get enlightened. Okay? Semke pani shendun chir yang dak tsokpe jangchub du. Okay, that's the definition of that's bodhicitta in Tibetan. The desire to reach complete and total Buddhahood for the sake of others' goals. Okay. Yay, that's the end of Lojong Dunduma. What?
Sorry to interrupt. There's like, I think there's several people that are not panelists and they can't use their microphone, and they're asking if you can make them panelists so that they can use their microphone.
Yeah, there'll be panelists. And you are now co-hosts. So if more people come in, make them panelists. Okay? Monica?
Thank you. Thank you. Finally.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to an amazing Lojong, which I love, which I do think of quite regularly as well. So I'm not saying you should isolate yourself in your room for several years and practice these things, but I am saying there is a benefit to isolating yourself in your room and studying these things for a few years. Because I study some of this stuff over and over such that, I don't know, they just float in my head, just like hip hop songs from the 90s, okay? I got Wu-Tang in my head from 1992. Protect your neck. I know every word to protect your neck, okay? That came out almost 30 years ago. In the same way, listening to these teachings over and over as much as I could, you know, I don't get to listen to them as much now. They stick in your head and they just pop up. So this one pops up in my head sometimes. It's amazing. So it's a Sakya teaching. Say Sakya. Sakya.
Sakya.
Yeah. None of my Tibetan students are in class. Convenient. That's how badly they want to learn Tibetan. Okay, I get it. Sa means earth. Kya means like pale or whitish or something. So the Sakyas, which is like one of the 4 great schools of Tibetan Buddhism. The four schools of Tibetan Buddhism are Nyingma, Sakya, Kagyu, and Geluk. Okay? If you put a pa on the end, that means you're a practitioner of them. So Sakyapa, Nyingmapa, Kagyupa, and Gelukpa. So anyway, this is Sakya. So Geshe-la goes into the whole story of the Sakya lineage. I'm not going to do the whole thing. You should listen to all these classes. You're supposed to if you want to pass this course, by the way. If you don't know English, I don't know how that works, but that's the rules. So the Sakya lineage has 5 great patriarchs, and Geshe Michael goes over them. Thank you, Holy Lama. And this Lojong is called Freedom from the 4 Attachments. All right. So you're gonna say Shenpa. Shenpa.
Shenpa.
Shenpa. Shidrel.
Shidrel.
Shenpa Shidre.
Shenpa Shidrel.
Yeah, you have to make it low tone. If you say Shenpa, it means a butcher. Okay, if you say she, it means to kill. So kill the butcher. Freedom from killing the butcher. Okay, that's not the practice. Shenpa means to be attached to. And then shi means for, low tone. And trel means freedom from or disconnected from, something like that. Okay. So Quincho Kelpo is the founder of the Sakya lineage. He was born in like 1034-ish or 1034. I don't know when he died. And his son was Jose Jampel. Great. And then his son was Sachen Kunga Ningpo. Okay. Oh yeah. And so, one second. Let me make sure I get this right. Okay, yeah. So, and his teacher was a lama named Bari Lotsawa. Lotsawa means translator. Okay, that's like Ben Kramer and Nick Lashaw. They're Lotsawas. Geshe-la is a Maha Lotsawa. That's like, he's like a Lotsawa's Lotsawa, okay? So it means translator. And so, because in this time in Tibet, they were still translating all the ancient books from the language they started out in, which was Sanskrit, to the language the people could understand, which is Tibetan, right? And so those people got together in little groups on Friday nights to learn the Dharma and learn this weird language that no one cared about so they could understand this wisdom. Sound familiar? Become a translator. We need more translators, okay? I want to do more I want to teach more translators. If you want to learn, I will help you, okay? Especially if you speak a couple languages, then you can translate into a couple languages. English is nice. Spanish is great. But if you have any leanings toward learning Tibetan, send me an email. Okay, so Sachen Kunga Ningpo, who was the son of Jose Jampel, had a teacher named Bari Lotsawa, which means translator. And at age 12, he began teaching him the secret teachings and teaching him how to directly contact tantric deities. Okay, there's two parts of Tantra. Part 1, contact tantric deities, call them up. Part 2, do what they tell you to become a tantric deity. Okay? Okay, that's all of Tantra, okay? There's more details, okay? So Manjushri, it said Manjushri himself, the god of wisdom himself, the Buddha of wisdom, taught him this lojong. One sec. And that's how we got this teaching. And teaching's no joke. And then Geshe-la goes into the lineage further. So an elder son of Kungpa Ningpo was Sonam Se, and then a younger, because these are the five, what they call the 5 patriarchs of the Sakya tradition, or like basically the people who started Sakya. Oh yeah, and then a younger son of Kungpa Ningpo was Jetsun Drakpa Geltsin. And then the nephew of Jetsun Drakpa Geltsin was Sakya Pandita, who's the most famous Sakya of all time. And he was an extremely famous teacher during his time and famed all over Tibet, and an amazing practitioner by all accounts. And then his nephew was called Pakpa. Papa means Arya in Tibetan. And he was extremely famous for teaching Emperor of China and meeting Marco Polo. If you ever played that game in the pool, right? Right, Kelly? Marco. Yeah, good, Kelly. Yeah, Marco Polo, the extremely famous explorer, Italian explorer. I think he was Venetian. That's a whole thing, though, from Venice. Anyway, long story short, this is the freedom from the four attachments that Konga Ningpo received from Manjushri. And there's more details, and I'm gonna keep going because it's Friday night and Wordy is tired. Maybe we'll finish class early. Okay, this is the first freedom. Sedi Lash Shenat Chupa Min. You're no Dharma practitioner. Excuse me. If you're attached to this life. We should just discuss these things. Monica's gonna help with the Spanish because Brian's on the channel. Anybody, what does this mean? Why shouldn't you be attached to this life? And what does it mean by this life?
Si quieren contestar en español, adelante y lo traduzco. Si Word no entiende.
Come on.
No está pegado.
Es el círculo del sufrimiento.
Ooh.
Y un bodhisattva está más allá de eso.
Yo creo que estar, o sea, de no estar apegados a la vida, probablemente se refiere como no apegarnos a todos los placeres que podamos experimentar en esta vida y quedarnos buscando esto que al final se va a acabar, pues, y no va a trascender a ningún punto.
I can translate. Luna said that I have no experience in translation. That being attached to life, it means that you're attached to all the pleasures here. And what was the second part? ¿Cuál fue la segunda parte, Luna?
There's no point.
Bueno, lo voy a decir en español.
Sí.
Que pues no tiene mucho sentido, o sea, que yo creo que se refiere como no apegarnos a la vida, en el aspecto de no apegarnos a las cosas que nos gustan en esta vida, porque al final las cosas que nos gustan en esta vida se van a acabar y vamos a perder nuestro tiempo tratando de alcanzar las cosas que nos gustan.
Oh, yeah. The stuff that's good in this life will just go away and the stuff that's bad just keeps going. Right?
Sí.
Yeah. Good. Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Can I
so
say something?
who's that?
Iribor?
Sí, Iribor de Chile?
Yeah, could I say something?
Sí.
Yeah. To be attached to this life on all the 5 agreements, los 5 agregados, no sé cómo se dice. And is not to have in mind that are empty to like ourselves. Everything is empty.
Claro.
So if you are attached, you don't understand emptiness.
Exactly. Good. Yes. It's totally true. And basically this one is understanding that this life led without wisdom, like Irvor said, without understanding emptiness, will lead to just all kinds of suffering, like Luna said, right? So, you know, that's the kind of life this is. It gets a little sticky for people sometimes. If people don't understand what we mean by this life, they can start to think like the Buddha said something like, all life is suffering, which is what you hear people say, right? Oh, Buddhists, they think all life is suffering, right? I mean, it is, but but it just means the kind of life you would lead without the skill and knowledge to cure your problems, which are inevitable. Either you have a problem, or you will have a problem, or you're gonna die either way. And that's a problem. Okay? Then people are like, dying's not a problem. I don't care about dying. I'm like, okay, go throw yourself off a bridge. They're like, no, I want to do that. Of course you don't. You don't want to die. Stop lying to yourself. Okay. That's the first freedom. Okay. 1 second. Did he not finish? I'll just go over this. Wait, hold on. Let me check the homework because I don't think, oh yeah, that's true. I don't think Geshe finished in the first class, but I want you guys to be prepared for the homework. So let me just make sure. Let me see what the homework is so I can see how far to go. Yeah. Okay, we're switching to the homework now because I just want to make sure you guys have everything. And I think we're going to finish early, which is fine with Word. I'm going to watch TV or something for 5 minutes and then I'll get bored and start working again. That's what usually happens. This is what happens when you practice too well. Everything else is boring. You're like, I'm not doing Dharma. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over every homework question now, and we'll do all 4 freedoms when the question comes up. Who wrote the original root text of Freedom from the 4 Attachments? What are his dates, and what is the name of the illustrious group to which he belongs? Okay. The author of the original root text was Sachen Konga Ningpo. Okay, who lived 1092 to 1158. And as I described earlier, he was one of the 5 patriarchs of the Sakyas, which just means like basically the 5 main teachers of the Sakya tradition. And the name of the text is Shempa Shidra, which means freedom from the 4 attachments. Okay. Name the author of the explanation of this text that we'll be reading for our study of the freedom from the 4 attachments. Okay. Who was his nephew? And who was his nephew's nephew? Ooh, I didn't know this thing. Do you know this word, Kelly McGee, in English? Nepotism. It comes from nephew, like your uncle's the boss. Like just you get the job because your uncle's the boss. Get it?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did. I heard. What is it? Sabrina? Sabrino? Is that nephew?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It just means give your sobrino the job because your tio's the boss or something. So anyway, a huge part of the Sakya tradition was passed down from nephew to nephew. Okay, so the author of this explanation is Jetson Drakpa Geltsen. Okay, so I think his grandfather, the book is his grandfather's, but but he had the explanation. And then his nephew was Sakya Pandita, Kunga Geltsen, very famous. And then his nephew was, everyone calls him Pakpa. But if you can memorize the whole name, that'd be nice. Drogun, Chugel, Pakwa. I don't know. Drogun. Oh, Dro means all beings. Gun means protector. So it means the protector of all beings, who is the victorious one of the Dharma. Chugel. Pakpa. Pakpa means Arya. And he brought Buddhism to the Mongolians. And that's a whole long story. I'm not going to tell it to you. Right? The famous verse of the freedom for the four attachments. Okay. So, a lot of these ACI things, you got to memorize stuff. So this could be on the quiz. So you got to memorize it. A person who is still attached to this life is no Dharma practitioner. So in English, we say it's formulaic, okay? Everything it's formed in the same way. A person who is still attached to the three worlds has no renunciation. A person who is attached to getting what they want is no bodhisattva. A person who still grasps to things has no worldview. Okay, and the way I think of them is each one I try to memorize what the theme is. Kelly McGee, I don't know the answer to that question. Maybe. Because I think they were starting to be monks at this point. It's like, ever watch that show DuckTales? Everyone knows Disney, it's always uncles. They never have sons, it's just uncles. Uncle Scrooge, Uncle Donald. Like, where were Huey, Dewey, and Louie's parents? Never explained. Okay. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're probably better off. Okay, here we go. The Holy Lama Drogpa Geltsen describes attachment to this life as attachment to one's practice of the ethical life, to one's learning, contemplation, and meditation. Explain the real meaning of attachment to one's practice of the ethical life. Ooh, what's the real meaning? It means to practice one's ethics out of attachment to one's instincts, to what feels good, and to and to what one's parents or school teachers or religious instructors early in life said, without examining it, to what one's culture has ingrained one to think, to what one's peers say, to what is legal or not, rather than what is well-reasoned understanding of emptiness and karma. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the notes, which is not that, which is this. Okay, and then we'll finish the homework. So this life specifically actually refers to basically misunderstanding your own how should I say it? Basically, it's like this. You come in the world with a personality. That personality has certain leanings, okay? And so you have certain instincts which may or may not be good. If all your instincts were good, you wouldn't need this teaching. And actually, if all your instincts were good, you wouldn't be in this kind of life. Because instincts, which here Geshe uses the word pakchak. What's another translation of pakchak in Espanol? Oh wait, it's right there.
Semilla.
Yay, good job. I didn't even notice. Yeah, semilla, seeds. So this is what happens when you plant a seed, you plant a pakchak. That's the whole thing. So your instincts could be from a past life when you were like a bad person or something, right? You're mostly good, but you have certain instincts. Like I had instincts to be pretty violent when I was a kid. Okay, not good. So you can't be attached to this life in the sense that you shouldn't be attached to these instincts that you have, just based on the fact that they're your instincts. Oh yeah, and your feelings. You can't just keep ethics when it feels good. Okay, there's a weird phenomenon happening in the United States. I'm going to talk about it live on YouTube right now. So during the pandemic, there was a lockdown, and during that lockdown, everyone had to quarantine, stay in their house. And during that quarantine, obviously people were on their computers a lot, because what else are they going to do? Because they already don't talk to anybody anyway, so now they have to look on their computers because they can't even act like they talk to people because they're not leaving their house. Okay, so then everyone's on social media. So then all of a sudden, social media gets flooded with these insane conspiracy theories, which existed before, but all of a sudden became this huge thing. I mean, especially in the US, I heard in other places too. And all these people who I knew as liberal, open, progressive, all of a sudden started supporting conservative people who they thought was the antidote to these conspiracy theories, which had no evidence and were completely groundless. Okay? And so to me, in a way, I was not surprised, because what I had noticed, you know, I mean, obviously, right, coming from me, but what I had noticed is that the spirituality that it seemed like people were practicing, right, seemed like, what do I know, was also baseless. Like, it wasn't based on fact. It was just based on their feeling. So when they got a new feeling about another thing, they just switched to that. I mean, it only took like a month or something. And like all these people are saying these same things. You're like, what? I mean, what, really? And that's what they believe now. So I don't know. It seems crazy to me, but I guess I need to be more steadfast in my practices and less fickle. Okay. So don't just trust your feelings just because they feel good. And then luksul. Luksul literally means like system or something, but here it refers to like the custom. So the custom of your country. So I think about this all the time, okay? Due to my skin color and the time I was raised, mostly in the 90s, okay, I'm old. In the 90s, Black people in the United States of America came under tons of scrutiny for drug use. There was a thing called the war on drugs. And if they were found or caught with certain substances, even if they were not committing a violent act, they could be put in jail for quite some time. And this happened so much so that the United States became the #1 prison incarcerated country in the world. I think percentage-wise, as well as population size, which is incredible, okay? But anyway, that happened. And now, just literally last week, like 6 states decriminalized marijuana, you know, like 2 decriminalized like magic mushrooms and like this sort of thing. And they're like, yeah, well, now we're gonna tax it, now we sell it, now we're gonna make millions of dollars off it. I'm like, what? All that stuff you were claiming was like de diablo, right? Like of the devil, evil. 100 years marijuana has been, what's that word? Prohibited. Prohibition of marijuana has gone on for 100 years in the United States. And thousands, if not millions of people thrown in jail, lives ruined. And now it's fine, no big deal. So the point here is, I don't know, people sometimes confuse laws with morality, right? I mean, there's horrible things that have been legal in the world. Slavery was 100% legal. You know, owning your wife, 100% legal. beating your wife is still 100% legal in many places. Or even if it's not legal, it's very hard to fight it, you know? I've understood that Mexico is one of those places. But you can tell me. Stuff like that, all over the world. All kinds of abuse, human rights abuses and such. So the point here is, in this life here refers as well to, don't be attached to thinking just because your country is a certain way that should be your morality. Okay? But at the same time, if you're doing something which is moral but is illegal, you know, be careful. You could have a problem. Just, I mean, every revolutionary could tell you that. Okay. And your parents' morality, same thing. Okay. There's many examples, but you have to be willing to question, once you get into the Dharma, all your beliefs, such that, is that based upon karma and emptiness? Or what will I get if I act that way? If acting a certain way gets me the thing that's like, what am I going to get from that thing? All right. I could talk about that all night, but I want to get some sleep. Okay. Cool. Now we go back to the homework for the other 4, the next 3 rather. Okay. The Sakya uses 4 metaphors for 4 attachments. State them and explain them briefly. This life is like a bubble. If you're not attached to it, you don't go to the lower realms. The antidote is to meditate every hour on your death. The result of this antidote is that your Dharma practice becomes Dharma. Hold on. Did I skip a part? No. Okay. Just making sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah. I mean, I'm not telling you to get obsessed with Dharma, but get obsessed with Dharma. Dharma literally means truth. It just means the truth. I mean, it's already Friday night and you're listening to me, so you either have nothing better to do, or you're already obsessed with Dharma, or both. Yeah, just get into it. You don't have to get obsessed. Don't be like me. I'm crazy. Just get into it. And find ways that work for you to get into it. Don't hurt yourself to practice Dharma. That is the opposite of Dharma, right? That's one of our Lojong pledges. You can't hurt your holy body. Tanya says ambas. Sorry, Tanya. Sorry to hear that. Okay. Okay, second attachment. Attachment to the 3 realms is like eating poison. It tastes good in the short run and hurts you in the long run. The antidote is to think of the problems of the vicious circle. The result of this antidote is that your Dharma practice becomes a path. This is more like what I was talking about for the first one, what we clarified. So this one is more thinking of the 3 sufferings, like Luna explained to us, right? The suffering of having a problem, the suffering of losing something you like, and the suffering of having a body that gets old, falls apart, has a bunch of pain, and then dies. Right?
Where I have a question. What means when they say 3 realms?
There's 2 interpretations of 3 realms. There's the desire realm, the form realm, or the formless realm. Or you can say things that go on earth, things that go in the ocean, and things that go in the air. It just means just think samsara.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to explain the 3 realms right now. Okay, fine. I'll explain the 3 realms, Victor. So first, there's the desire realm, which is like basically human life. Basically, they say the desire realm is the place where people just think about food and sex. Okay, and that sums up 96% of my life. All right. The other 4% is sleep. And then the form realm is like if you meditate really well and learn to concentrate really well, you're reborn in a realm where you're basically blissed out all the time. And then if you meditate even better than that, you're born in the formless realm where you don't even have a physical body per se. And you have like a subtle body, but it's not like physical. And okay, and the other 3 realms is explanatory. Okay?
Okay.
Yay.
Thank you.
No problemo, amigo. Okay, attachment to what you want is like killing your enemy's son. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. It makes you glad in the short run, and in the end is certain to bring you harm. The antidote is wish for enlightenment. And the result of this antidote is to remove from your practice the first great mistake of the path, which is just practicing it for yourself. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. I think there's a lot of confusion. Actually, I was watching Jeopardy, you know that TV show? And there was a question, and it was like, oh, the subject was etymology, which I go crazy over. I'm like, etymology, ugh, which is the origin of words, right? And it was saying, it was like, this is a person who stays in suffering to help all beings, you know. The answer was, what is a bodhisattva? And I got it, but it's one of the biggest misinterpretations of Buddhism. It's up there with the 4 noble truths, okay, as a misnomer. So we just had the definition of bodhicitta. Let's have it again. Monaco, what's the definition of bodhicitta?
Wanting to get enlightened for the sake of helping everyone else to get enlightened.
Yes, perfect. Look, she learned. You're awesome. Good job. Okay, good. Yeah, that's true. So therefore, that's the thing you want. That's the thing you're focusing on. Nothing in there says you got to suffer. It's actually the opposite. They say bodhisattvas are in some kind of extreme bliss that you can barely comprehend. You couldn't comprehend, right? So therefore, it behooves somebody who has bodhicitta to get enlightened as quickly as possible, such that they can help other people do that as quickly as possible. And along the way, you will get everything you want. Okay, let me see. I think all of my spiritual teachers are rich with beautiful partners, tons of students. All their life's goals are fulfilled constantly. They just help people. People throw money at them. They throw money back at the people. People throw more money at them. They throw more money back. Like, that's their whole life. All of my spiritual teachers, including Geshe Michael. Okay? So that doesn't sound bad as lives go. Doing what you love every day, helping people every day, and then going to bliss and being a Buddha. Okay, that's pretty good. That's not suffering. That's the opposite. Okay. Almost done. D. A person who still grasps the things as being self-existent is like believing that a mirage is rainwater. It seems like water in the short run, but you can't drink it. It keeps you from reaching enlightenment quickly. The antidote is to avoid the second great mistake of the path, which is holding to the 2 extremes. That things must exist as they seem, and if they don't exist as they seem, they cannot exist at all. Who said that? $20.
Ariana Gardner.
Oh! Damn it. 20
Oh,
pesos for Monica.
I got it. No, you said dollars.
What? I didn't say dollars. Crazy. Okay, dollars, fine. Monica Torres.
And actually, I hear like 20,000.
20,000. 20,000 centavos. Yay! Para ti. Okay, good. You're on the list, Monica. Don't hold your breath on when that's coming to you, though. Okay. No, I'll pay you. Yeah, exactly. Ariana Gardner. What are the other 6 things you said, Monica, for $0? Monica said Ari Gardner said there's 8 extremes. You can think things start on their own, things stop on their own. Things, just because things exist, they don't change. Just because things are empty, they don't exist at all. Things come, things go. Things are one and things are many. Okay? You should memorize those.
I know we saw them.
Huh?
We studied them now in class 2, I think. Some of them.
Yeah, we studied them in this class. And I mentioned them again, I think on Monday. With Kelly McGee, right, Kelly McGee? Yeah, see? Kelly McGee knew 4 of them. She forgot 2 of them. She got the other 4. Okay, I remember. All right, so anyway, if you don't understand emptiness, you'll think things are a certain way. And they're not going to change, right? Like you'll be really surprised when American democracy deteriorates. You're like, oh, but America's a democratic country. How could American democracy deteriorate? How could it not deteriorate? What have you been doing for the last few years to help American democracy not deteriorate? Sitting on your bum watching Instagram, looking at Instagram. Okay, that's not gonna help. So that's how things change. So things are changing. But just because American democracy is coming from me doesn't mean there's no American democracy. There just means there's no American democracy of the sort that doesn't come from me. Okay? So that's the 4th attachment, not believing either of those things. And those are called the 2 extremes. That's like if you're driving your car on the highway, you wouldn't want to go into the left shoulder or the right shoulder. You want to stay in the middle. So what's that called?
The medium path.
Yay! Kelly McGee was about to say that, right, Kelly?
Yeah, middle way.
Yeah, middle way.
A medium way, yeah.
Camino medio?
Yeah, camino medio.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, the middle way. That's the middle way. And like, I don't know, people are like, oh, the middle way, moderation. Bam. Yeah, you should be moderate too. But this is like gonna save your whole existence. Being moderate is you're just gonna be moderate. You're just gonna die moderate, okay? Anyway, that's it. Class over. Any questions?
Can we have a meditation? In the homework, we need to do one.
You can have as much meditation as you want as soon as class is done.
Okay. No, but you will be great if you can teach us one of meditation of Lo Young. We didn't have even one.
You're supposed to do the meditations. This is homework review class.
Anyways, if we can have one meditation, the next class will be great.
I would like the meditation also.
Victor
Sure
is
for me.
Victor is volunteering to lead the meditation. I'll think about it, Victor, okay?
Okay,
Don't push me though, I'm busy.
please,
Mm-hmm.
por favor.
Actually, word is now super pushed.
Quizás. Okay. Anything else that's not a request for me to do something else?
Yes, I have a question actually. What is when you refer about the three words in the
Mhm.
in the homework, what is that three words that you refer?
Victor
Sorry.
asked that. Okay, the three realms. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Okay, that was his question. Yay, okay.
I got it. Yes, thank you.
Okay, that was easy. Who else? Nadie persona.
You can get some sleep now, Word.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm gonna do.
What time is it right now in Philadelphia? 10:21.
Yeah. A las 10:21.
Nice.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is the city of Rocky Balboa, right?
Of who? Rocky?
Rocky Balboa.
That's a movie. There's no Rocky.
Yeah, I
That's
love this
fictional.
guy.
There's no Rocky. That was Sylvester Stallone playing a boxer that doesn't exist. Okay. But
Okay.
the answer is yes. You're right.
The story is in Philadelphia.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Nice.
I've never successfully finished that movie. I couldn't watch it. It's too much for me. Okay. Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
Anyway, okay, let's end class before people have more requests. Monica. Yeah, don't give me that look. You love it. Let me see. Mandala. What does mandala mean, Monica?
I don't know.
El mundo. Mandala. Mundo.
Thank
It means
you.
world.
I was distracted by Kelly's beautiful cat.
Aww. Okay. You and Kelly can do a personal Zoom with the cat after class is done. Okay. Just say Sashi really loud. That's it.
Okay. Sashi.
Uki jokshin Ravning Joku Parsho Iram Guru Ranmanakam
Gewa.
Ikewoku Tsunami Yashe Tsunami Yashe Tampa Kuni Yay! Against all odds.
Thank you very much for your time. And
Yeah, thank you, Ward. Thank you for the teachings.
Gracias, Word.
They are really good.
Brian.
Practice.
Thank you very
Gracias,
much.
Brian.
Gracias.
And thank you, Brian. Yes, sí, gracias.
Hacer,
Good evening. Buenas noches.
hacer tu tarea.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Hasta lunes. Gracias, Brian Mendoza. Woo!
Have a good weekend.
See you Monday.
Buenas noches.
Have a nice weekend.
Buen fin. Buen fin.
El buen fin.
Adiós.
Bye. Buenas noches.
Gracias.
Sano.